Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Amway Center in downtown Orlando. I am Bryan alongside former bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz, former middleweight champion Michael Bisping, and former Posh Spice look-alike contest winner Megan O'Leary. Listen, guys, it is a true story. It's hilarious. Mike, big fight in our featherweight division. The headliners Josh Emmett and Jeremy Stephens are clashing for a ticket into contendership. Why is this such an important fight?
Well, listen, if you want to see guys that throw down, look no further than this. Josh Emmett, of course, his last fight, he knocked out former title challenger Ricardo Lamas. And when I say he knocked him out cold. It was beautiful. And of course, he's taking on Jeremy Stephens. The guy's a true veteran of the UFC, been around for a long time. 13 first round finishes, 18 KOs. This fight will be bananas. I can't wait to see it.
I'm looking forward to it because Josh Emmett has a record of 13-1. He's put together an awesome streak, and he's with the camp that me, Jeremy, and the rest of the Lions has a lot of rivalry with. But Jeremy Stephens has been on a stroll himself, running through the division, doing great. He's got almost 30 fights in the UFC, chasing a record that Bisping here has right now at 29. And the bottom line is, it's experience versus an up-and-comer.
All right, very nice. Well, also, Megan, in our co-main event, a title shot hangs in the balance there as well. We have two top 5 strawweights in Tisha Torres and Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, this is number 2 versus number 5, and Karen, you nailed it. They both believe that whoever wins this fight should be the next challenger for that strawweight belt, and they're also in agreement about how they believe this fight will go down. Jessica said, I am a brawler. That's what I'm going to go in there and do. Tisha said, I need to hit and move. It's just about who can implement their game plan and get their hand raised.
Yeah, we know that Tisha's only loss is to current champ Rose Namajunas. I know she would love a chance again at that fight. Well, we are just about ready for the ceremonial weigh-in, so let's send it to John Anik. Take it away, John.
Is it great to be back in Orlando. Thank you all for coming out to the weigh-in. The Octagon girls are in the building. Ariane Celeste is here, Chrissy Blair, Vanessa Hansen, and with a new beard, the greatest matchmaker in the world, Sean Shelby, is with us as well. All right, we begin with the UFC Fight Pass prelims. First up in the UFC's bantamweight division, Albert the Warrior Morales versus Manny Bermudez. First fighter to the scale, making his UFC debut. Please welcome Manny Bermudez.
First time stepping on the UFC scale for Manny Bermudez, making his UFC debut. Undefeated record 11-0, 9 first round finishes, 1 by KO, 8 submissions. So hopefully a solid addition to the UFC roster.
136, the official weight for Manny Bermudez.
Likes the triangle choke, 6 wins by triangle.
UFC appearance, the Warrior Albert Morales.
Yeah, Albert Morales, born in Granada Hills, fights out of Reseda, California, under the tutelage of James Teal and Andre Vasconcelos. He's very durable. I probably didn't say the word right, and we got Bryan over here laughing at me. But he's got a 4-1 amateur career, keeps a high output offensively.
The official weight for Albert Morales.
I was saying, good job. Those are some tough names.
Well, this guy had me guessing.
All right, next up in the UFC flyweight division, Eric Showtime Shelton versus Alex Perez. First fighter to the scale is Alex Perez.
Well, unfortunately, this morning at the official weigh-in, Alex Perez missed weight. He weighed in at 126.5, and then after an hour, something pretty unusual occurred. He actually gained about a half pound. He weighed in at 127 after that hour. So he now forfeits 20% of his purse to opponent Eric Shelton.
126 and a half, the official weight.
That's unusual, to say the least.
Well, listen, I can't help but think that he gave up trying to make weight, because if you put on half a pound, I think he just resigned himself to the fact that he was going to miss weight. He took on a little fluid. That's the only reason you get heavier. You don't get lighter. But I'll tell you, what is going to be lighter is his purse, because Eric Shelton now gets 20% of his money. That doesn't suck. That's always good. Of course, Shelton here, 4th fight inside the UFC, coming off a victory over Jewel Loza. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think so. Recently in Sydney, Australia. 2 KOs, 5 subs, and of course, as I said, 20% of his opponent's money.
And we got to know Eric on that season of The Ultimate Fighter. He's got 4 children, so I know he's going to be happy about those extra dollars in his wallet.
All right, now back to the bantamweight division. Ronnie Yaya versus Russell Doe. First fighter to the scale, making his 8th UFC appearance. Please welcome Russell Doe.
It has been about 8 months since we've seen Hawaii's Russell Doe inside the UFC octagon. You know, he was a former carpenter who decided to try his luck at MMA in 2006. He said he was inspired when he saw someone throw a flying armbar, and then it certainly worked out for him. The MMA road has given him 12 finishers with 8 in the first round.
136 for Russell Doe. And his opponent, 9-time UFC winner, please welcome Ronnie Yaya.
Yeah, Ronnie Yaya is one of these guys you can't sleep on. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 2007 Abu Dhabi champ, 3-time world Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champ, which means he's up there with Damian Maia, Gilbert Durinho, a lot of these guys who are the best in the world. Jacare, he's one of the best grapplers in the world. Yes, that is not a fight, Michael. I know it's what you're looking to say.
It means that if you go to the floor with him, you better get up pretty quick. That's what it means, Dominic.
Yeah, smart guy. I'd look at him more like a little nice koala bear. He's so nice, he's so quiet, but if he grabs a hold of you, he's not letting go. He's going to crawl up to your neck and strangulate you.
You know a koala
I made that word up, strangulate.
It's a koala, Dominic. He's not a bear. It's just koala.
I like the analogy.
Looks like a bear to me.
Like Prince, koala.
Smiling Sam Alvey versus Marcin Cracknio. First fighter to the scale, making his UFC debut tomorrow night, Marcin Cracknio.
Marcin Cracknio, fighting out of Warsaw, Poland, like John Anik just said, makes his UFC debut tomorrow night. He actually started karate at the age of 12 and was a multiple-time Polish champion. He said he wanted a new challenge, so he decided to try MMA. He's got 11 first-round finishes
The official
with
weight for
6
Marcin
in under 2
Cracknio.
minutes. Very impressive.
And his opponent tomorrow night makes his UFC light heavyweight debut. He is Smiling Sam Alvey.
Well, his opponent is mean mugging. Sam's always smiling. He called the UFC recently. He said, listen, I just want to fight. I don't care whether... Hey, here we go. I don't know what's going on with the crutch. Oh, he's carrying his wife.
Yes.
And they say chivalry is dead. Yeah, he called the UFC, he said, I'll fight at middleweight, 185, 205, whatever you got. So then the UFC called his bluff, called him up and said, we're going to fight for you at 205.
206, the official weight for Smiling
So now he's
Sam
got
Alvey.
extra reason to smile because he can eat. He's very full. He's very happy as usual.
All right, folks, you can check out the next 4 prelim bouts on your local Fox affiliate tomorrow night, starting at 6 Eastern. First up, welterweights Ben Saunders and Alan Jouban. These guys are going to make the walk. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I usually try to be objective, but Alan Jouban is my podcast partner. He is a wonderful guy, and obviously, I am pulling for him tomorrow night. You know, Brahma's had a little bit of a tough go of it lately, had some tough fights, but he is really composed, really ready for this one. Tomorrow means a lot to him for the first time. His son is going to be watching him fight inside the octagon. He'll be celebrating his anniversary with his beautiful wife, Nicole. So it's a very important fight for him tomorrow night. I can tell you I have been alongside Alan this entire fight camp, and he's just in the zone. He's really ready to crush it, so I'm really excited for him.
Repping Orlando, Florida, Ben Saunders.
So Ben Saunders has wanted to fight in Orlando several times. Of course, third time is a charm for the UFC coming here. He gets his wish, although he wasn't too happy about the choice of opponent. Him and Alan, they're kind of teammates through the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu scheme, so they were a little unhappy about that. They spoke to the head coach, Eddie Bravo. He gave the blessing, so the fight is on. So there's no bad blood here, just good old-fashioned competitiveness.
The official weight for Ben Saunders.
Yeah, as they say, they're gonna go share a beer afterwards or something, but you know, take care of business inside the octagon.
All smiles, all business.
Well, Alan is a professional model as well, Michael. The man knows how to smile.
I taught him everything he knows.
Oh, did you?
I did.
That was good. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, it's what I do.
All right, next up in the women's strawweight division, Marina Iron Lady Morose versus Angela Hill. First fighter to the scale, let's hear it for Angela Hill.
Winner of 5 of her last 7. Angela Overkill Hill trains with Dominic Cruz here, who's at the desk joining us. Out of Alliance MMA there in San Diego. She's known for her wit outside of the octagon as well as her toughness inside. Her official UFC bio says she wakes up, eats horse meat, lifts, chases chickens, spars 5-foot-tall men, sleeps, and then repeats. Gotta love Angela.
The thing about her is her mental toughness in the way of cardio, work ethic. She's one of the hardest workers in the gym, and that always gets her a long way.
And I know recently she's been trying to bulk up a little bit for the strawweight division. She kind of felt a little bit small, it seemed, in the past, so she's been deliberately trying to put more muscle on.
Yeah, she feels that it's going to help her more in defending the grappling and to be a little stronger and to get easily in the clinch.
Very nice. All right, well, Marina is from Ukraine but lives in Chicago. Now, she actually was part of the Ukrainian national boxing team, so I don't think anybody wants those hands, Michael.
They don't want those hands.
As Tyron would say, but she did debut in the UFC with a first-round submission over Joanne Calderwood, so it was a big deal. She made quite a splash.
Look at the reach.
Yeah, there's a good long reach there to get past. 5'7" versus 5'3" is an issue.
Well, you'd know about that, Dominic.
Our next prelim is in the women's bantamweight division. Sarah McMahon versus
pounds do you have on me? 100?
First fighter to the scale. She is ranked number 8 in the world at 135 pounds. Marion
Renault, 40 years old, but that does not stop this woman for one bit. She's currently still an active high school teacher while fighting full-time to take care of her son. She started fighting because she wanted to put her son through school.
The official weight for Marion Renault.
She's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style, which she's going to need against some powerful wrestlers.
You know no one's going to mouth off in her class. No.
Number 7 in the world, Sarah McMahon.
So McMahon recently went to Team Alpha Male to train with your buddies, and of course nobody likes training camp. Well, some people do, but they want to be pushed, and she said she wanted to set fire to Uriah Faber. Not for the reasons you do, for very different reasons, because he pushed her so much.
135.5, the official weight for Sarah
When they were
McMahon.
holding pads, she was trying to miss the pads because she wanted to kick him in the head because he was pushing her so hard.
Faber
Oh, look at this.
They're a little angry.
Look at that. I like that.
I love it. So we've got
They're messing around.
a 40-year-old versus a 37-year-old. These two women are ready to rock.
I hope you brought your takedown defense.
Seriously.
And now our featured prelim on Fox in the bantamweight division, Henan the Baron Barrow versus Bryan Boom Kelleher.
When the UFC offered Henan Barrow as an opponent for Bryan Kelleher, he immediately took it. He feels that this will bring him closer to a title shot. He also said that TJ Dillashaw took the soul of Henan Barrow. He said he's never been the same since those fights. And he might have a point. You know, when you get handled like that, when you get beat like that, it does take a little piece away from you.
Does it?
146 for Bryan Kelleher. And his opponent is the former UFC bantamweight champion. Please welcome Henan Barrow.
And for whatever it's worth, he looked great at the official weigh-ins. Anybody who's worried about his weight, he did not get approved in California to fight at 135 pounds because he was a little close a couple times. He trained full-time in Florida for this fight because he needed training partners, had nothing but good things to say about Power MMA, but just needed training partners, and it looks like he got a grasp on the weight. And now let's see if we can see the best Barrow.
You can check out the next 8 fighters on the main card, which you can see on Fox. Next up, welterweights Mike Perry and Max Griffin are going to take the stage. So, Megan, what can you tell us about Sacramento's Griffin?
Well, he trains out of Sacramento, but not with the team everyone associates with the city. He does not train at Team Alpha Male. He actually trains with MMA Gold, but he's always looking for the finish here. He's got 5 finishes on his record in less than 1 minute. He was actually at the UFC Performance Institute for a few days at the same time as Mike Perry, and they were very friendly with one another. They seem to have a real mutual respect as opponents.
170, the official weight for Max Griffin.
Yeah, I think that's out the window now, though. They were talking a little trash yesterday.
His opponent, the man many of
Well,
you
when
have
it's
come
fight
to
week,
see.
I think
Please
things
welcome
change for a lot of people.
Mike Perry.
Listen to that crowd. They're all here to see Perry. And you know, it's funny you guys are talking about trash talk, because that was actually something that Perry said. He said, I hate a trash talker to this day. Since I was a kid, a lot of people used to talk crap to me when I was growing up. I was one of the only people that got picked on in my schools growing up. And you know, it obviously made him kind of an angry, ready to fight person. But at the same time, he's fighting out of Orlando, Florida here.
The official weight for Mike Perry.
Everybody here is excited to see him obviously throw down.
Yeah,
all his wins are via knockout, 7 in the first round, Mike, so don't get too excited.
No, he fights the same every time. He's always looking for the knockout. This guy's awesome.
He's
I love
great.
watching him fight. I love hearing him speak.
He's a lot of
I
fun.
love watching him weigh in. Look at him.
Is he trying to pants?
Tried to pants him.
Wow.
Wow. Griffin was not having it.
I think that's called punking your opponent.
It's called really making Max Griffin angry. I
The
think
UFC
actually
light
too.
heavyweight division, Owen St. Preux versus the sledgehammer Alir Latifi.
Yeah, so this fight was supposed to happen a few weeks ago, but he pushed it back. Latifi was injured. Of course, now he's all good, stepping onto the scale. I mean, when you look at Latifi, it's no surprise that he has a wrestling background, because he's got a body designed for it. Incredibly strong, part of the Swedish national wrestling team, which it came as a surprise when I found out that Sweden had a national wrestling team, but still.
206, the official weight for the 8th-ranked contender, Alir Latifi.
But he's going to need that wrestling against
And
old Vince.
ranked number 5 in the world, former title challenger, Owen St. Preux.
OSP has done an awesome job dealing with the wrestling of almost everybody he's fought. He's extremely hard to take down as a very long, lanky southpaw. He started training out of college football in Tennessee just because he wanted something to do. Moved right over, and now he's made a heck of a name for himself in this sport.
And OSP is excited because he's from Florida. Rizzo used to live here and got his start here, so it's kind of a home game for him, even though now he doesn't live here anymore.
Yeah, I just spoke with him backstage, and he was very excited about being able to fight here in Florida. He said it meant a lot to know his friends and family would be able to come to the fight.
The height difference is pretty crazy.
Now our co-main event featuring 2 of the best strawweights in the world, Jessica Andrade versus Tisha Tiny Tornado Torres. First fighter to the scale, Tisha Torres.
All right, folks, well, as you see, walking out with Tisha is her partner and coach, Rocky Pennington. Now, Rocky actually fought Jessica Andrade twice, went 1-1 with her. So I spoke to her about this. She said she's been able to give her some great insight on how to fight Jessica Andrade. But in general, she said that Tisha had a fantastic camp. They brought in a lot of training partners from all over. And she just said mentally, physically, she's just in a really, really great place right now.
And her opponent, former title challenger, currently ranked number 2 in the world, Jessica Andrade.
The pile driver, Jessica Andrade, ranked number 2 in the division. She's coming off an incredibly impressive win over Claudia Gadelha in Japan this fall. Since moving to flyweight, Jessica has a record of 4-1, losing only to the former champ, Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
116 for Jessica Andrade.
All right, and with that, folks, we are going to say goodbye to Megan for a little bit. We will see you backstage.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Always.
This is a really fantastic fight, you guys. Both of these women, as we mentioned, looking to get into the title picture once again.
All right, now it's time to take a closer look at the men on the marquee, the 2 featherweight contenders who share the octagon tomorrow night in our main event.
I grew up in a shelter. I lived in a garbage bag full of clothes. I went to 14 different elementary schools. I lived in a car with my mom. I remember being down in the car, I'd look up at the moon and be like, God, why are you doing this to me? But now that I look back for it, this is what I was built for. I actually learned to love the pain, because the pain made me struggle. It made me learn how to utilize that, harness it, and turn it around into a positive. Look at me now. I love doing this. I truly, in my heart, love fighting. You get in there with me, you're gonna find out real quick that it ain't just a game. I'm in there to kill you.
When I started out, I got into this game later than most. And then when my first pro fight, I actually broke my hand. It took me 10 months. I had surgery. I was out for a while, came back for my second pro fight, broke the hand in the exact same spot, out for another 10 months. And I was like, man, do I keep doing this, keep pursuing this? But then I was just like, this is my goal. I wanted to fight in the UFC. It was UFC or nothing. And I knew my time will come one of these days, and it's finally here. Uriah, he told me, you're one of the best fighters in the world, just nobody knows it yet.
Josh Emmett is a tank. He's a giant at 145 pounds, but never known before as a knockout guy. Against Ricardo Lamas, he didn't just knock him out, he scared the entire division. That shot he hit him with would have floored anyone.
He's been the more efficient striker. Down and out goes Lamas.
It's been a grind for me for over a decade, and it's finally paying off now. There's only one thing that means a lot to me, and that's have that world championship belt, and I will get it.
His opponent, Jeremy Stephens, is a professional savage. He knows how to finish.
Big kick from Stephens.
This is a guy who decapitated Rafael dos Santos. Against Doo Ho Choi in his last fight, he showed he still knows how to do that.
Stephens, huge right hand, and that is it.
I'm a human highlight reel knockout artist. I love to punch people and put their skull in the back of the stadium in the stands. You know, it's what I do. You know, once we get in there, we start mixing it up. He's going to be ankle diving.
I don't think any featherweight can handle the power I possess, and we're going to see who can hit harder, we're going to see who can take bigger shots and keep moving forward.
You know, I thrive in those situations. I don't stop, I don't take break. The Savage is going to be bringing it out, and we're going to bring it to him.
I will get my hand raised, I will be victorious, and I will win that title in 2018.
First fighter to the scale with more than 11 years on the UFC roster, the 8th-ranked featherweight contender, Jeremy Will Heathen Stephens.
You know, you look at Jeremy's record and you say, how is he winning so much now? How is he looking so sharp now after 30 fights almost in the UFC?
The official weight for Jeremy Stephens.
Jeremy focused 100% on changing some things. He changed some of the people that work with him in his corner. He changed his diet, he changed his running routine, and he changed the way he trains.
Well, it's a mindset as well, Dominic. And talking of mindsets, Josh Emmett has just that thing as well. I mean, we've spoke about it. His knockout over Ricardo Lamas was insane. Just watching it again now, I was like, man, that was heavy. Let's wait for the weight, although we know.
46, the official weight for Josh Emmett.
You've just got to take one look at this guy to know that he has a ton of power. Look at the midsection, the trunk, the core. That's where the power comes from. Both of these guys are looking for the knockout. This is a great main event.
I cannot wait. I think we're going to see a game of tacticians here. Like, is Josh Emmett going to play the pull game and move backwards, which we don't really see a lot, or is Jeremy going to do that? Who's going to go which way?
Here he is, Jeremy Stephens' 28th UFC appearance tomorrow night. Your thoughts on what we're going to see in this main event against Josh Emmett?
We're going to make some magic happen here in Orlando. We're here to heat things up, baby.
Congrats on another headlining spot. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Stephens. All right, we step over here and talk to the last man who will make the walk tomorrow night. Josh Emmett, less than 2 years in the UFC, already on a Fox main event. Your thoughts on the fight with Stephens tomorrow night?
Man, it's going to be a non-stop action-packed fight, but you know, like I said before, it's my time, and you guys are going to see tomorrow night.
Thanks for your time. Get some rest. We'll see you tomorrow. Josh Emmett, ladies and gentlemen. Orlando, thank you all for coming out. We'll see you right back at Amway tomorrow night.